The one and only Chris Lethal Shooter Matthews is here for what we'll call episode 39 of NBA Buzz's podcast, Inside Buzz. I got the shirt on. I got the banner behind me. Chris, you got your Lethal Shooter banner behind you. I want to start first with the Warriors are arguably the greatest shooting team in NBA history. I mean, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, guys like that. The Boston Celtics, I mean, they're going toe-to-toe with that Warriors team from three-point land. How underrated is this team as a shooting team?
Yeah, the Celtics shoot the ball at a high clip. They do a great job of getting in the gaps and kicking it to the shooters. And most importantly, the one thing I noticed, they don't shoot a lot of erratic threes. I think they need to do a better job defensively, though. They did a great job last game, but on Steph Curry, I think they need to probably push the big out more instead of letting the big sag back, because Steph Curry's just having a field day in that approach. But as far as shooting the three ball, I think this team, the developmental side is awesome. They have some of the best assistants in the NBA.
For sure. And a guy who's really developed recently, Jaylen Brown, on NBA Buzz here, in the media, other outlets like that, a lot of Tracy McGrady comparisons. And Chris, just last week, I was lucky enough to get a comment from T-Mac himself, kind of weighing in on it. I'll throw that over screen on the YouTube version of exactly what he said. Do you see a T-Mac comparison in Jaylen Brown?
Yeah, that's a huge comparison. I can definitely see the comparison with the athleticism, with the jump shot, with the ability to hang in the air. T-Mac scoring ability was next level. You know, T-Mac was one of those players that can, score 25 points in a quarter. And Jaylen Brown is starting to show those characteristics of basically piling up points. So I can definitely see that characteristic, and I can definitely see him taking this offensive game to the next level.
So series tied 2-2 between Golden State, Boston. A guy I want to talk about with you being Lethal Shooter, all the critiques to any jump shot you see. What's going on with Klay Thompson right now, Chris? A little inconsistent this finals.
Yeah, well, he's a shooter. Shooters are going to shoot. We all know he's just coming back from injury. He's not 100%. I feel like he's doing a great job keeping the floor spaced out for Steph Curry, keeping the floor spaced out for Poole. I mean, he's just not in the flow. He's been off for 2 years. He's just trying to get back into the flow. And we all remember that Klay Thompson that has the ability to score, 75 points in 2 seconds. But that Klay Thompson isn't this year. That Klay Thompson might not be to next year's playoffs because the injury that he's had was very significant on his body, So I feel like just by him still taking those jump shots just shows the type of confidence that he has in his jump shot. And most importantly, it just shows that he's one of those players. It doesn't matter how many shots that he missed. He's going to take the next shot, and that's the right mentality to have as a shooter.
And that's what we saw in, I believe, game 2. Yep. He was like 4 of 12, and then Kerr left him in, tried to find his rhythm, finished something like 6 of 19. Obviously not great, but he knocked down a couple down the stretch.
Absolutely.
Steph Curry, 43 points in game 4. Incredible showing. Is this the year, if the Warriors win the finals, will he be finals MVP?
Yeah, Steph Curry is literally showing us right now he's the best player in the NBA. He's definitely carrying this team to the next level. He's putting his team on his back. And most importantly, he's playing defense at a high volume right now. We've all been picking on Steph Curry. We all been saying that Steph Curry couldn't guard the yard. But this year, he's shown us that he's been lifting weights. He's shown us that he's been working on his foot speed. And it's hard for guards to score on him. And most importantly, it's hard for people to post him up. He used to be a liability in the post, and he's starting to show his strength. And most importantly, he's not taking those erratic shots like he used to in the past. He's getting what he wants right now. He's getting in the gaps. He's getting layups. He's getting the mid-range jump shot. He's getting the 3 whenever he wants. Honestly, when he misses right now, it's because it's a bad shot that he felt like he missed. It doesn't seem like the defense is stopping him. So I feel like Steph Curry, if they win this, Steph Curry will win the finals MVP.
Steph shooting at a 50% clip, well over 30 points per game already, just his finals. Al Horford, a guy in game 1, he was the MVP of that game, put up something like 25 points and hit huge three-pointers. So that's what I want to pick on. Al Horford's development as a three-point shooter, towards the end of his career at 35, 36 years old. What can you say?
It just shows you it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're not able to shoot the basketball, that's your fault. In today's NBA, it's a must that you have a three-point jump shot. It's a must that you have a mid-range jump shot. So if you're a liability in the NBA right now because you can't shoot, that means you're not putting the time in. And Al Horford is showing us that he has put the time in. Al Horford has showed us he's dedicated to the game. And Al Horford has showed us with age, you can shoot better because that's a characteristic that a lot of people try to say as you get older, somebody can't learn the art of shooting. But as you're saying, it's more players that are getting older and older, and their clip is getting much better. And another prime example of that was Vince Carter. Vince Carter played till he was about 40 years old. He was shooting at a high clip as he got older. And I want to commend Al Horford as well, because now defenses have to step out to contest that jump shot, which helps his teammates, Jaylen and all those guys, and Brown, all those guys get to the basket without his guy being the help side defense.
Yep. And I just read a comment, Chris, a lot of people are asking me to ask you about Draymond Green. I mean, in the early days of the Warriors dynasty, Draymond would drop in the teens in points. He'd hit threes. He'd really attack the rim. What's going on with Draymond right now?
Draymond's just out of sync right now. A lot of people are on him tough. But, if you understand basketball, he's still doing a great job. No, he's not scoring 30 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists. But most importantly, he's the leader on that team. If you notice, he's always the first guy off the bench getting up. He's always the first guy to help somebody off the ground. And most importantly, he's that somebody, when something goes down, he's going to be in the other team's face. So he might not be scoring the points. He might not be getting the assists. And he might be seeming like he's out of sync. But most importantly, he's that leader that the team looks up to, and he's a vital piece. And that's the reason why the Warriors are in the finals right now, because of Draymond's leadership. It's not always about points. It's not always about rebounds. It's about you doing your job. And if he wasn't a professional, he would be out there right now trying to take bad shots. He would be out there trying to force the issue. So I have a lot of respect for him right now, because he's not out there going out of his character. He does need to work on his jump shot. But other than that, I feel like he's a great player, and he's one of the best to have done it.
Mm-hmm. And for all NBA Buzz fans watching, a couple hundred in right now, we are taking fan questions. So as Chris is speaking, of course, I'm listening, but I'm also reading your comments. So anything relevant and something good I see, I'll ask Chris. So lay down a comment down there and maybe I'll ask it. Chris, next up, I mean, you publicize amazingly with the people you train, people you meet, and things you do. Grant Williams is a guy who I got to point out because he's in the finals. You've been training him a long time. How have you seen him develop, and what have you seen him this postseason, this finals?
Yeah, 2 years ago, Grant reached out to me telling me he wanted to understand the art of shooting and, most importantly, be a stretch shooter. I told him it's an easy job if he's devoted. So for 2 summers straight, we were changing things with his jump shot, and most importantly, getting him to understand his purpose on the Celtics. And at the time, they had Kemba, and, he was out of sync sometimes, and he didn't understand how to stretch out for Kemba. So last summer, we really broke down the art of shooting to a point that he had to understand that his job is to help Tatum. His job is to help Brown. His job is to help Smart get their games off, not him get his game off. So if you notice, he's not always taking bad shots. He's always there to space the floor out, just like how Bobby Portis was for Giannis. And I feel like Grant Williams is a prime example of somebody that if you work on your craft and make the right changes, you can knock down the jump shot, because for a long stretch there, he was top 5 in the NBA all season in threes made, 3-point percentage. And I feel like, for a lot of people that say that somebody can't shoot, this person can't shoot, mostly it's somebody that hasn't took the time to properly teach it to them. I feel like anybody has the ability to shoot the basketball. So anytime I see somebody that can't shoot the basketball, I literally, in my heart, believe that I can help that person. And we've been seeing that so far.
Series tie 2. I mean, it looks like this series is primed for a Game 7. Chris, who you got winning the finals?
I really want the Celtics to win, because for the last 3 years, I've had clients win, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Bobby Portis, and I would love for Grant Williams and Daniel Tice win it. But the way that the Celtics are playing recently, I was kind of confused how they were at home last game and they didn't pull it off. If they want to pull it off, they got to have a little bit more toughness and a little bit more grit and a little bit more awareness on defense. Sometimes they look confused, and the way they're looking right now, and I have to say the Warriors, but last week on Certified Buckets on Uninterrupted, I said Boston, but Boston didn't seem hungry last game. They don't seem like that team that's diving all over the place, that team that's hungry. So until I see that, I have to stick with the Warriors, because Steph Curry's pissed right now, and that's the Steph Curry that it's going to be hard for a lot of people to stop.
Yeah. And Chris, just something I thought of. Last week I posted a quote. Kevin Durant called you one of the greatest shooters he's ever played with. Now, clear up for the fans how you know KD and what was it like playing with him in high school?
Yeah, me and Kevin Durant played together in high school. Most importantly, I was able to see him develop from a young age. He's easily the best scorer I've ever seen in my life, and he's easily one of the best defenders that I've ever seen in my life. Because I remember people used to give him a hard time as a defender, and now he's starting to shut people up with that. It's definitely an honor for somebody like Kevin Durant to say that on my page last week. Because, a lot of people don't believe I can play basketball. A lot of people think I'm a YouTuber. A lot of people think I'm a content creator. But most importantly, I played 4 years in college. I played pro for 7 years overseas. A lot of people don't know these things about me. That's why sometimes I have to post my ability and to show people I still have arena records that I broke in college, and I still have records that I broke overseas. So for somebody of his caliber to say something on my page, that's definitely a blessing, and continued success to him. Because to me, he's the best player to ever come out of the DMV area, and he's definitely, to me, top 3 best NBA player of all time.
And Chris, a lot of people in that post last week, and even the comments now, they go, well, why wasn't Chris in the NBA? Well, why didn't he make it? Tell them about, why and the heart problems you had.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't make it to the NBA. A lot of people don't make it to the WNBA. There's a lot of people that want to be the president of the United States, but they don't get there. But that doesn't mean you're not the best. You're the best at what you do if you continue to go hard. I never quit. I didn't make it, but that doesn't stop me. A lot of people say, if you're so good, how come you didn't do this and how come you didn't do that? 9 times out of 10 in life, when people are saying things like that, is because they've never failed. They've never done something that they worked so hard before and didn't reach that goal. So a lot of people that say that, I kind of ignore it. Yes, I had a lung problem. My lung collapsed. My body shut down, and my body hasn't been the same. But it still just shows people's ignorance in life, where, somebody who didn't make it to the NFL, if you're this good, you would have made it to the NFL. It doesn't mean that. It means that sometimes everybody doesn't make it. But most importantly, God put us all on earth for a reason. You know what I mean? So if you didn't reach one goal, it's your job to work to get to the next goal. And I think I did a great job of that, of understanding what my purpose was on earth, and that's being a shooting coach.
I love it. And it's paying off. Perfect transition to your new movie role in Adam Sandler's new Netflix movie, Hustle. Tell the audience who haven't seen it about the movie and about your role in it.
Yeah, it was definitely a blessing. I was on set for 3 days with Adam, the professor, Bone Collector, and all those great guys. And when they reached out to me from Netflix to tell me to be in the movie, it was a dream come true, because we all grew up on Adam Sandler movies, and for him to ask me to be in a movie, but most importantly, it wasn't a big crazy role, but they gave me a sound bite, and that's kind of huge in a movie, and it just meant a lot, because people don't understand how hard I work in life, and to just be to take a small part in such a big movie is a dream come true.
Yeah, and I knew we were having this interview tonight, so obviously I watched it today. Great job. Great movie as well. So many NBA in it. Who's somebody on set, like Dr. J was on set, I'm sure. I don't know your day, but who was somebody in that movie that you've never met that you were so excited to meet?
It was definitely a blessing. I knew everybody that was on set. A lot of those clips that were shot, like the AI clip, different clips, people were like at home, if that makes sense. Like they filmed from their computers, because during that time, it was the COVID and situations like that. But everybody that's a part of that movie, I'm blessed enough I know them personally. You know what I mean? But I didn't get to meet Dr. J. He's one of the people, if I would have got to meet him, I might have gave him some shooting tips and tell the doc how to knock it down. But it would have been a dream to meet Dr. J.
And what about Adam Sandler, Chris? It's at least once or twice a year we see him going viral for freaking playing basketball in baggy shorts, a baggy shirt, looking like he's not worth millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. So did you see any of that on set?
Man, it's crazy, because when I was on set, one day I was on set for like 7 hours. Adam played basketball all day, bro. He played basketball all day. The only time he took breaks was to check to the film and stuff like that. He'll eat some fruit, and then he'll go right back, play some basketball, play 2-on-2, shooting his jump shot. But he was always so engaged, and to watch him really motivated me. People like Adam Sandler, people like Dave Chappelle, people like Kevin Hart, they really motivate me in life, because these are people that are doing stuff at a high volume. And to watch somebody like Adam Sandler working his craft, and he was just so hard on himself on set. Like, he was never like just chilling. He was always here, always there. And I was like, you know what? That's what it takes to go to the next level. So watching Adam Sandler really motivated me to continue to go harder in life.
And Chris, that was my last question. Let's just hang around about 20 seconds. So NBA Buzz fans watching, if you have any question for Chris based on the finals or shooting, I'll pick one out and ask him. So head to the comments and I'll see what I could get from you guys. And of course, Chris, as always, thanks again for coming on. Let's see what we got. I'll even scroll up a little bit and see what we got here. Give me 1 second, Chris.
Take your time.
Here's a perfect one. At I'm Just Driven. Can you talk about how proud you are of Bobby Portis training him?
Yeah, I've been lucky enough to train Bobby Portis for 2 years. He's another person that wasn't known as an extended three-point shooter. And when I met Bobby, I was honored to go to Arkansas because, that's where he's from. And when I first walked in the gym, I asked him, are you willing to do what it takes to take your jump shot to the next level? And I asked that with every single client I start with because a lot of people might just see my content. A lot of people might just see my crazy rims, but my passion is really being a shooting coach. And I really don't take that as a joke. So when I meet people to train them, I want them to know, like, once we start this, we got to be serious because it's time to take it to the next level. And Bobby was one of those people that looked me in my eyes and said, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And every time I train with Bobby, he's always detailed and understanding what I'm trying to tell him. He's always looking in my eyes. He's always has an understanding of if I tell him to do 10, he wants to make 20. If I tell him to make 20, he wants to make 30. And those are the type of clients I want to train. I want to train people who are willing to get uncomfortable. And that's the only way you can be a great shooter. And that was the only reason why I was a great shooter when I played. And that's why I'm able to post what I post, because I was putting my body through complete torture, but most importantly, put my mental through complete torture, because a lot of people can't shoot under pressure. And the one thing about Bobby Portis, as we saw last year, he was top 5 in the NBA in threes made. And this year he did a great job as well, stretching the floor for Giannis. And most importantly, showing that he's worth $50 to $70 million to stretch out a floor for a winning team. So to continue to help players take their jump shots to the next level and to continue to help collegiate players take their jump shot to the next level, it's a dream come true, because I feel like this is the reason why God put me on earth.
Bobby's going to get a bag, Chris. That is for sure.
Yeah.
And one question, a fun one for you. From at @2cold_Paul. If you had made it to the NBA, what team would you have wanted to play on?
Man, I feel like if I was in today's time and I made it to the NBA, I can't be on a team unless they have a dominant player, because I was never one of those players that the entire game I can just get off. I got off because of my teammates, if that makes sense. So I think I'll be a good fit for like the Warriors now, because they have Steph Curry, because the whole defense is keyed on him. If I would say back in the 90s, I would say I would love to play with like a Tim Duncan, because the defense would have to be keyed in on him. I would love to have played with the Lakers with Shaq, because the defense would have to sink in on Shaq. Those are the type of teams I would have loved to play with, because I know I'd have been able to get my jump shot off. And most importantly, I'd have been breaking some records if I'd been playing with those guys.
I love it.
Yeah.
Chris, thanks again for coming on episode 39 of Inside Buzz, the IG Live edition. For everybody watching, I'm Mikey Domagala, owner of NBA Buzz, host of Inside Buzz. Everybody go check out Chris, starring in the new Netflix movie, Hustle. Go check it out. Great movie. And as always, I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Have a nice night.
Have a blessed night.
All right. Talk soon.